All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be driving on autopilot through the beautiful forest that we've got here in the Macedon Ranges. So I'll be able to demonstrate just how good autopilot is. We'll go ahead and engage that. The only thing we'll have to watch out for is potholes, which are pretty bad at the moment in this area, but speed limit is 80 kilometers an hour. You can see there are some recommended speeds of 70 kilometers around these bends, and we'll just observe if autopilot is going to slow down at all, which I have noticed it's started to do more and more. It kind of just takes care of everything for you, and I like it because I can actually concentrate on the rest of the stuff going on, you know, like keeping an eye on all the other sorts of things around me. So going a little bit hot into this bend, would have preferred a drop down to maybe 75. It handles the ups and downs really, really well and just takes all that fatigue out of driving. Autopilot is the most sophisticated system that we're seeing on the market because it does come from that FSD platform that's kind of built off AI and built off some really intelligent software, and it will only continue to get better. We do have enhanced autopilot, but that's not really any benefit to us right now because we're not on a highway, so it's basically just what you're seeing is standard autopilot. It's not doing anything special. Now it has just asked for a hands on the steering wheel, make sure that I'm still here paying attention. This is a bend coming up that I'd normally see autopilot brake for us, so I'm just ready. Let's see, up the incline. No, okay, so kept it at 80. Actually felt all right. And we are dealing with some pretty direct sunlight into those front cameras, but very rare for autopilot to have an issue with visibility unless you're in really thick fog or the sun is setting right on the lens. Apart from that, it seems to do a pretty amazing job. So speed limit remains 80. It's picking up the speed signs, it's picking up the rubbish bins, not that that matters. It's picking up the cones. And this is such a beautiful day and region to be driving in. This is a hot corner. I'd like to see a drop in speed. Perfect, here we go. Drops down to 75. And we've got a traffic hazard up here. I don't know what that's gonna be, probably a pothole. Still maintaining 75, and you can feel the car's acceleration on and off right now. Doing a great job. So this is what I mean when we use autopilot all the time on country roads. It's not just for filming, it makes driving from town to town really, really easy because it's single lane, you know, lots of curves and ups and downs, and yeah, we literally drive with it every time. And that car that just pulled in front of us, if it was a little bit later, you would have felt the brakes kick on. It probably recognized it on the screen. Back into the depths of the Wombat Forest here, just on the outskirts of Daylesford, and a great spot for camping. Tesla are pushing a software update just in the last few days that is pretty mind-blowing. It really shows just the amount of lead that Tesla have and the advantage that they have when it comes to these sorts of software systems. So this update, which you may have heard about, is actually now looking at the whole fleet. So let's say we've got a supercharging stop in Daylesford. It will actually work out the other Teslas that are on their way to that same supercharger, their estimated time of arrival, to work out if it's going to be busy by the time that you actually arrive. So that's real world fleet data that it's taking into the navigation system automatically and letting you know if there's going to be busier than, you know, normal times at the supercharger. Where this gets even more interesting and exciting is that, let's say there's a branch on the road and I disengage and I swerve around it, or there's like a massive sort of hazard or pothole, the auto labeling system is going to start to detect that as a hazard, and hopefully in the next 6 months or so we'll see that push out that feature, push out to other Teslas. So if you're there's a Model 3, 10 minutes down the road following us, it will come up on the navigation system that there's a hazard, and it's like Waze, but you're not relying on people to input the information. The cameras are actually auto-labeling, auto-detecting the hazards and pushing it out to everyone else. So this is like game-changing stuff. I think this is a pretty bad pothole. Not bad, not too bad. They've patched it since I was last on this road. So yeah, some of the technology advancements we're seeing with Tesla are really coming to play now. And I feel as though things like full self-driving will have to be licensed out to other automakers if they want to compete, because I just don't see people catching up with the amount of real-world data. 5 million cars on the road constantly putting data back into that supercomputer. And that's what version 12 of full self-driving is learning off. It's real-world video footage of how people are driving. So much so that they had to manually write in code to tell the car in version 12 to stop to come to a complete stop at stop signs, because it was learning from other drivers that very rarely stop completely at a stop sign. So yeah, it's very interesting times. I can't wait to watch this develop, and hopefully we've got full self-driving here in Australia in the next 6 to 12 months. That would be awesome to see. Speed's going to drop down to 60 automatically. You can feel the regen coming in. You can see that the brake lights are engaging, so I'm not touching anything. It's doing it all itself, and such a pleasant way to come into Daylesford as we're heading into the main strip. So I'm going to disengage now, and hopefully that gives you a real world example of how useful it is to use this system all day, every day, on any road that has line markings on it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys soon in another video.